Well, I'm back here again. I came here the other day. I stopped to pull at this scenic overlook, and I took a closer inspection at this sign right here. This sign right here. Don't worry about the first part, but the second part I found really interesting. The road in the valley below here follows a route of Washington, George Washington, used when inspecting forts along the Jackson River in 1756. So George Washington fucking used this. There's a road down there somewhere, and I'm gonna go find it. We're gonna go find it. And there's a road down there somewhere that George Washington used to inspect forts in 1756. Now I was thinking, forts, you know, is that some kind of military campaign? 1756, you know, the American Revolution is not till 20 years later. What was George Washington doing in 1756? A young George Washington, I consulted Siri, he would have been 24 years old. What was a young 24-year-old George Washington doing inspecting forts in 1756 if the American Revolution is 20 years later? You know, I was thinking, was he surveying? You know, because that is his first job. It was his first job, was a land surveyor. And, you know, I'm out here kind of doing the same stuff. So I was thinking, hey, that'd be cool. You know, I'm surveying some of this, you know, looking at the same stuff that George Washington could have. And we're essentially doing the same job, you know, where the new school meets the old school, right? But no, he wasn't surveying. He was inspecting forts for a military campaign in 1756. Couldn't be the American Revolution. Well, what could it be? And I looked it up, and it's the French and Indian War. George Washington was inspecting forts somewhere down in this valley. Forts used to stage the British American armies during the French and Indian War. Essentially, the French controlled all the stuff west of here, right? All the land west of the Appalachians, and you know, the British American soldiers, you know, they wanted to push and gain more land, and you know, this was kind of the staging ground of the British and you know, American soldiers during the French and Indian War, led by George Washington. So somewhere along in this valley, there's a road that we're gonna go find it, and we're gonna walk drive the hallowed ground of the French and Indian War. Let's fucking rock. We're driving down the road. We're driving down the road right now. This must be my turnoff to get down into the valley. Down into the valley. The sacred ground of the French and Indian War. And hopefully we can find some relics from the past. Maybe we'll find an old fort. You know, maybe we'll find something, an old something from the French and Indian War. Look at that beautiful creek right there. Beautiful creek. Swider House. We're going down. Here we go. Yeah, we're still fucking going. We're making a deep descent into the valley. And the Jackson River, there it is. There's the Jackson River. We're gonna get down there. There it is. We're still going. We're descending right now. We're descending into the valley of the French and Indian War. All right, we've made our descent into the valley. Here's an old house. I don't know if this is from Washington's time, but it's old. I don't know if that's a relic from the French and Indian War. I don't know if that's a fort George Washington would have inspected, but we are now on the road along the Jackson River. Look at those guys. Hey. You know what? I'm gonna fucking I'm going for it, man. This isn't all for nothing. You know, this isn't all for nothing. Give me a relic from the past. Give me a relic from the past. Is this the road? I don't know if this is, I mean, this, who the fuck? Look at these little fuckers. Hey! All right. Here we go. What is this? What is this? Well, it actually turns out that it was a gate. Private road. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah!
I'll just say, oh, I'm lost. Sorry. Pittsburgh Steelers fans down here. Here we go. We are in the valley. I just need to get eyes on the Jackson River. That's it.
Just eyes on the Jackson. It can't be that
We're at the
fucking
staging
hard.
ground, essentially, of the French Indian War. I mean, there's a really big trail right there that you can drive on, but it's locked. I don't know who controls that. Might be state parks. Might be able to get access to that road. Let's see. I don't know where this is taking us. That's what I'm talking about. That's the fuck I'm talking about. All right. A lot of wildlife out here today. I mean, I get you. It's nice out here. I feel you. All right. Boom. Okay. I mean, the river's over there. I'm going to turn around up here. Where does this go?
I don't want to take it down.
No, what you want to do is you want to go
no,
forward and
down,
then you
want to
branch
go
out.
maybe
Well,
ass
there you have it.
backwards into the valley.
You know, this is the, I guess this is the, I just want to get to the fucking Jackson River though. I get, this is the road. I mean, this is a road. I don't know if it's the road. This is a road in the valley. We're just going to say that this is, you know, I'm sure that there were some staging grounds along the river right here during the French and Indian War. You know, the whole staging ground, this whole area would have been, you know, Washington would have probably set footsteps somewhere in here. The river is just right over there. All right, no relics from the past, but we're in the cradle of the French and Indian War. That's good for me.
Texas Tech, Virginia Tech, T-E-C-H. Tech. Texas Tech, Virginia Tech. Tech, C-H. Virginia Tech, Texas Tech, C-H. I guess it would be T-C-H. Texas Tech, Virginia Tech.
Hey, you guys talking about the cradle of the French Indian War right now?
Yeah, man, we are, dude. We're talking
All right.
about history right now, dude. Welcome, man.
Hey, thanks.
Let's
thanks.
discuss.
All right.
Hey guys, follow me on my journey through Southwest Virginia as I travel through the footsteps of George Washington in the French and Indian War. This area is very beautiful, and George Washington walked here at some point in his life. Follow me on my journey through Southwest Virginia and find some cool spots along the way. Thanks. Here we go. Jackson River. We found it. Getting close. Getting close. Just give me one relic from the past. Give me one relic of
Do we
the
get
French
one
Indian
fucking
War
relic
somewhere.
of the French and Indian War?
We're getting close.
Yeah, like,
We're
is
putting
that
the
so
pieces
hard?
of the puzzle together, and we're getting there. We're getting there. Look at these guys. They're floating down the Jackson River, the same river that George Washington would have been on.
Fun fact, did you know George
expecting
Washington was
fortune
the
on during the
first
French
U.S.
and Indian War.
president of the United States of America?
There they go. So we end our journey outside of an Arby's and an Exxon. Why? Well, glad you asked. Let's take a little stroll over here across the street. Let's Well, we're going to check out this sign. Fort Young, constructed nearby at about 1756 as a wooden palisaded fort. Fort Young, originally known as Dickinson's Fort, stood near the Jackson River. Check. It was one in a series of forts authorized by the Virginia General Assembly to be built on the frontier to protect the English settlers during the French and Indian War. Looks like we found it. From 1754 to 1763, also known as the 7 Years' War. Don't really know how that adds up, but
It's actually
Colonel George
9
Washington
years.
likely inspected this fort during his frontier tour in 1756. This fort was an important post and probably garrison until at least the close of the American Revolution. Fort Young had disappeared by the middle of the 19th century. Damn. So there you have it. Fort Young stood somewhere nearby. The river's down there. That's where I'm guessing it is. Maybe it's where this fucking Arby's is right now. But it's not there anymore. But it was here. It was here. At least now you can get your fucking meat mountain. But right down here somewhere, Fort Young. There we go. French and Indian War, Fort Young. Boom. Cheers.